So apparently, this was one of George Clooney's first big roles, which I did not know, but is honestly not too surprising because a lot of actors start out in the horror genre. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. It's not that much of a horror movie, though, if I'm being honest. At least in my opinion, the most of the movie is just, I guess, more of a suspense horror where you're supposed to feel tense because you don't know what these guys are gonna do. But honestly, once we get them with the main family, I don't really feel that much suspense. Uh, they try and make you feel it with the fact that Richard had killed a woman earlier, and now he, is trying to get with this underage girl. But I didn't really feel it. Um, they show like one scene of him talking to her, and he says they'll talk later. They never do. Uh, it just it's whatever. They just never get you back on the feeling on edge after they lose the first hostage, in my opinion. Well, let's go back to the opening scene now. It's a cop and a gas station employee. The gas station employee starts going on an ableist rant about how uh, people with disabilities shouldn't be working, and then the gas station employee drops the R slur. We're only a few minutes in. They say a few slurs in this movie. The F slur at least 3 times and the R slur once. And then the fucking gas station employee goes on about how disabled people shouldn't work, which is just an insane thing to say. I bet he would be pissed if people were living off a disability, because a lot of people are and claim that it's eating up all their money because the government's helping people with disabilities, but they would be the same type of people that get pissed when a disabled person has a job. What do you expect them to do then? Be fucking homeless? He'd probably look down on them for that too. But I'm getting a little heated about this. Uh, Richard just wants an excuse to kill him, or maybe he's just fucking really schizophrenic and paranoid. I don't know. He says that the guy said help me when he definitely didn't, and he ends up killing the gas station employee. The fucking not the gas station employee. He ends up killing the cop. The gas station employee stupidly tries to kill Richard when Richard's leaving. He was all good. He could have been safe. But I guess his ego was bruised from being robbed or whatever. They weren't even robbed, actually. They weren't robbing the gas station. They were there because Richard had thought that he recognized him or something. I don't know what the fuck they're doing there, actually. But they end up trying to leave, so I guess they're just gonna let him go. I don't really, now that I think about it, I don't really know what all is going on in the opening scene. Richard talks about how he had thought he recognized him. So you'd think they'd be like killing him or taking him hostage, but they're trying to leave. So what? I don't get it. Um anyways, the guy stupidly shoots Richard through the hand, which obviously he keeps the injury throughout the movie, and he lasts a very long time in the movie, which is pretty cool. Um so yeah, he ends up getting killed by George Clooney. George Clooney takes a roll of toilet paper and sets it on fire and throws it at him, killing the guy. And probably my favorite kill of the movie. Um, it's a really cool kill. He fucking is still shooting at him while he's on fire, and then he dies. George Clooney goes off on Richard, rightfully so, for him making all those stupid decisions. But at the very end, he fucks it up by getting mad at Richard for the building burning down. He was like, we're supposed to keep a low profile. Burning down a building isn't keeping a low profile. George, that was your idea. Richard didn't tell you to burn the place down. You decided to do that. Sure, you had to do it because Richard put you in that situation, but you could have just shot the guy. You did not have to burn the place down. You could have complained about having to kill the gas station employee for Richard. But instead you complain about the building burning down like it's Richard's fault when you chose to do it, bro. So for the rest of the movie, we follow George Clooney and Richard with this family, a preacher that's lost his faith. He's also like a minister. I don't know if there's like a difference, but they do refer to him as a mister in one scene. Actually, he refers to himself as that. But then throughout the rest of the movie, he's called a preacher. I don't really know the difference between religious stuff because I'm not really religious, but I did want to point that out. There's a little tense scene with border control wanting to search the van, so they make an excuse saying that there's a girl in the bathroom. The cop checks and sees the fucking underage girl in the toilet. Like, gross, dude, stop looking. You should have at least covered your eyes. I don't think he looks too long, but he's definitely standing there too long. That scene, I was happy that fucking Richard was knocked out. Because he definitely would have pulled some fucking disgusting shit if he had saw her on the toilet. Eventually, they get to their destination that this guy Carlos, who has been mentioned a handful of times in the movie, had. They get to that destination where they were told to go, and we meet Tom Savini's character, and he's just horribly sexist and racist. He says yellow pussy, obviously referring to Asians, which is just gross. His character is called Sex Machine. No, wait, actually, no, that wasn't Tom Savini's character. It was another character. But those two looked a lot alike. Tom Savini's character is called Sex Machine. He's decently funny. I don't know why he refers to himself as Sex Machine. Maybe he got his name legally changed. Because fucking Kate is like, what's your name? My name's Kate. And he's like, my name's Sex Machine. Nice to meet you. Like, it's a weird interaction. I guess they didn't know about the vampires at first. From my thing, I thought that Tom Savini and the black guy, I don't remember what his name was in the movie, I thought that they were like there to kill vampires specifically, especially since Tom Savini's character's got a gun in his crotch. Like, he's got a crotch gun like that one DC villain. That probably a lot of people don't know him. So I don't know why I mentioned him. But anyways, you know, stuff ends up going wrong. Tom Savini gets bit. He ends up biting the black dude and the preacher. Now, here's what I thought was kind of stupid. The black dude and Jacob get bit at the same time, like seconds apart. The black dude turns almost immediately. Jacob's character lasts a good 8 more minutes. And they're bit near the same time. I do not get it. And Tom Savini's character is also, he gets bit and he lasts like a good 6, 7, 8 minutes. So why did the black dude turn immediately? Did you just want to kill him off immediately? He was one of the few black characters in the movie. So maybe that's what they wanted to do. I don't know. George Clooney also has like a sexist line before he shoots at a ceiling fan that impales a character and kills it. He also has a homophobic line. I really wanted to like his character, but you know, them adding all the sexist and racist and homophobic shit. At one point, he fucking was like, he doesn't look Asian, and Jacob's like, well, he's Chinese, and then George Clooney's character basically goes on a rant about cancel culture before cancel culture really existed. He's just kind of pissed over his own stupidity. Like, that's kind of on you, bro, that you couldn't tell that he was Chinese. Probably the funniest line in the movie, too. The dad just fucking He's not afraid to talk shit to George Clooney throughout the movie, and I like that. Richard ends up dying. He gets kind of a lame kill. He just gets his neck bitten and he dies from the injury. It's not even like a good neck bite because I've seen horror movies before where people get their neck bitten and they just fucking bleed a ton. They got really good gore. This one just, eh. He ends up getting turned into a vampire and getting killed again by a stake through the heart. And it's kind of brutal, even though they don't show it that much, because George Clooney uses his gun as like a stake. Like, damn, uh, it's fucking cool. I don't think many movies divert the plot this much, but I really liked it. I unfortunately already knew the plot twist about vampires, but I probably could have figured it out from the name. Um, But yeah, I've never seen a movie that was just, a stereotypical movie. People get kidnapped as hostages and the bad guys end up getting away. And then it just turns into a vampire movie. I wish I would not have known about that plot twist because that would have been really cool. Uh, George Clooney and the daughter end up being the only ones to survive. George Clooney gives the daughter a little bit of money and then just takes off and leaves her on her own. I didn't expect him to adopt her or anything, but man, he should have helped her. He should have made sure she got to someplace safely, but he's just like, gives her a couple $1,000 maybe, and he's like, go home, kid. Like, okay, that's poor girl. She just lost her entire family, and now she's just kind of stranded out in the middle of nowhere. She was supposed to be on vacation. Did not go that way. There are a sequel and a third movie. I might look at them, especially since the sequel has Robert Patrick, who I loved him in Terminator 2. And as despicable as he was, obviously, in Peacemaker, it shows he has range. So I kind of want to see what he's like in the Dusk Till Dawn 2. But I don't know if I'll be watching it anytime soon. Hell, I don't even know if it's streaming on anything. I just know that there is a sequel. So I might be watching it. I might not be. You'll see if I post it on my channel.